you so much for joining me back here. Why did my voice just break? Thank you guys for joining me here. Today we're going to do another tag video. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been reading a big range of stuff here lately, so tag videos are my go-to right now. That, and there are a lot I haven't done that I want to do. So today we are going to be doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag. So let's just get right into it. Question number 1, a popular book or series that you didn't like. So I'm not very good at keeping up with what's popular just in general. I'm always very behind. I kind of just read what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm a mood reader. I don't really keep up with the new releases and stuff like that. But I did try to read Stalking Jack the Ripper and could not get into it. I don't even think I made it past the first couple of chapters. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't interested in it. I was finding myself just already not wanting to pick it up. So I did DNF it, but a lot of people, most people love this book and this series. So question number 2, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. Before these last couple of months, I probably would have said Twilight. Twilight is one of those series that has gotten a lot of hate in the past, but it's always been one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite fluff reads just for enjoyment. And within that, I have been rereading it, and I liked New Moon, I think, better than the first one this time, which is a very unpopular opinion. However, since the new book, Midnight Sun, is coming out here soon, a lot of people have been revisiting the series and loving it all over again. So instead of that, I'm going to say the Divergent series. A lot of people enjoyed that series, but hated the last book. Listen, I am in the minority there. I liked how it ended. I like sad endings for some reason. I like it when things don't always come out happy and gooey and all that kind of stuff. It's just realistic to me. I try to be a positive person. I try to be an optimist in real life, but at the same time, when it comes to reading, I like real stuff. I like to be a realist, and so I like that not everything turned out. I need to reread that series, actually. I haven't read it since 10th grade? 10th grade. And it's been 6 years since then, so. Alright, question number 3. A love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with, or an OTP that you don't like. Hold on, I gotta check Goodreads just to look at all the books and stuff that I've read. Okay, so I'm going to go with Citra and Rowan from Scythe. Let me just preface by saying that I have only read Scythe. I haven't read the last 2 books in the series, and I don't really plan to. For me, their relationship was totally fine, just being a platonic relationship. I didn't really think there was any need for any kind of romantic thing to be going on between them. Not that there really was, it just kind of hinted at those feelings. Story-wise, I don't really think it was necessary, so I guess I'm going to say them. Just a little fun fact though, while we're talking about it, Sam's name was almost Rowan. We talked about that name before I even read that book, but we liked it. Obviously we didn't go with it, but I do like that name. I think this is question number 4. A popular book genre that you hardly reach for. Contemporary. I am pretty vanilla when it comes to my reading habits. I stick mainly to fantasy. I like classics, and that's pretty much it. There are some exceptions in there. The Help is one of my favorite books. So good. I guess that would be considered historical fiction. I really enjoy the things they carried, so there are some exceptions to that, but generally I do stick to those 2 genres. I do not like contemporary at all, and I know a lot of people do. It's so boring to me. I don't know, I spend my life here every day in this world. I don't want to read about the same world. Even in fantasy, I'm not much of like, what is it called, like urban fantasy? Is that what it's called? Where the story is set like in modern day times as well. I don't know. Harry Potter is like the only book that can maybe fit that category that I enjoy. But even still, most of that series is set, you know, at Hogwarts and stuff outside of the real world. So I don't enjoy fantasies that are set in the real world. I don't enjoy contemporaries. I like sci-fi. I never reach for it though. The only book I've read that could really be considered sci-fi is Illuminae. And it was amazing. I enjoyed that book so much. It was one of my favorite reads of the year. Last year. So yeah, I enjoy that series, that genre. I never really reach for it. Another one would probably be horror. A lot of people like horror books. I can't get into them. I like horror movies. The books, not so much. Question number 5, a popular or beloved character that you do not like. I'm gonna get some heat for this, okay? And I like the book a lot. It's a good classic. I don't care much for Jane Eyre as a character. Listen, all right, let me explain. It has been a couple years since I've read this book. I read this book my second semester of college, I think. So that was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly. So it has been a while since I read this book. From what I remember though, she just aggravated me a lot in her actions. She would do something and I would want her to do the opposite. So it's not that I really dislike her character so much. It's just that some of her actions just drove me crazy. Next question, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. Okay, so the person I'm going to say is probably not fair of me to say because I've never read any of their books, but that is why I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Cassandra Clare. Okay, I have the whole Shadowhunters box set. It's behind all of these books on the top shelf. Never read them. I bought that box set in high school and still haven't got to them yet. I also have 2 of the Infernal Devices. Haven't read them yet. So she is definitely one of those authors that I have intentions of reading just because of her popularity. I've said this, that I don't really read what's popular. And I guess she's a good example of that because the only reason I want to read these books are because they're so popular and people say that I should. Otherwise, I don't have a desire to pick them up. I'm sure I'll love them whenever I do finally get to them. But as of right now, there's just other stuff I would rather be reading, I guess. Next question, a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. I would say the damsel in distress. I feel like that's kind of getting pushed back a little bit. For me, when I think about this and what I actually want, I think about The Cruel Prince, the Folk of the Air series. So in that series, Jude is the main character, and instead of Cardan kind of becoming this person that she needs and ultimately, you know, becomes the person that helps her, how do I put this? Just morph into the person she's meant to be. Jude is the driving force in the series. I feel like she does everything, and in the end she ends up taking care of him. So I do like that trope, and not the opposite one. I don't like it when, I don't know, like Twilight. I'm reading through Twilight right now. I've already said that. That's all I can talk about here recently. But Edward is definitely the driving force in that series. Even though Bella is the main character, everything that happens to her is because of Edward. And while that is one of my favorite series, I really enjoy reading it. I don't know, I'm just getting a little tired of it. That and the whole love triangle thing, just in general, makes me anxious. Because I end up in this situation where I can see the good in both of the characters that are kind of going for the main character. And in the end, as a reader, I get torn between who I want the main character to end up with. I'm one of those people that I'm very satisfied with very little. I feel like I could be happy with either way, but it makes me feel bad for the other character. So yeah, I'm getting a little tired of that too. Next to last question, a popular series that you have no interest in reading. Kind of already answered this one. The Mortal Instrument series, the Infernal Devices, just that whole collection of stories, that whole world. It's not that I don't have any interest in reading it, but I don't. It's one of those deals where I'm pretty sure I would enjoy it if I would actually get around to it. I just don't have any interest in getting around to it. I will eventually, just because I already own them, and there's no point in wasting that money that I already spent for them to just sit on my shelf as dust collectors. And the last question, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? Listen, don't hate me on this one either. I guess that's why this is called the Unpopular Booktube tag, right? Unpopular Opinion tag. Anyways, Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I read this book in middle school. I read this series in middle school, and it was way above my level. I'm just going to be honest with you. It was way above my reading level. It was tough to get through. Tolkien's writing is very heavy, I would say, is how I would describe it, at least from what I remember. And so it was very hard for me to get through. However, I did grow up with the movies. I remember watching those movies with my dad growing up. I've since then watched them over and over again. I've watched them with Ethan. They're great some of my favorite movies. But I don't remember liking the books that much. I remember liking the movies much better. Maybe that would change if I was to reread the series as an adult. I do plan on doing that eventually. But for right now, I do enjoy the movies a little bit better. So yeah, I think that's it for this tag video. I'm not going to tag anyone. If you want to do it, feel free to do it. Be sure to let me know below if you do it. That way I can go check it out for you guys. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment. You guys are awesome. I am thankful for you, and we'll meet back here next time, guys. See ya!